Former U.S. President John F. Kennedy is quoted as saying, "Physical fitness is not only one of the most important keys to a healthy body, it is the basis of dynamic and creative intellectual activity." We agree. So today we will help you put that physical fitness into practice for a better you, plus helping you to understand the process of our constitutional reform. I am Adrian Atkinson, and this is Jamaica Magazine.
Crime and violence is infecting our youth. We must work together to rescue them from the gangs, engage them in productive activities, and safeguard Jamaica's future.
The proceeding was brought to you by the Office of the Prime Minister.
Dear adventure seeker, let Jamaica be your playground of exploration. If you're a thrill seeker, paragliding might just be your fit. Or if you're a nature lover, go for a hike and explore the beautiful flora and fauna. If you're someone looking to break a sweat, grab your bicycle and go for a ride. Discover the adventures that await you in Jamaica. Your perfect escape is just around the corner.
Good day, I'm Theodore Henry, and this is your JIS News for Thursday, June 20, 2024. Prime Minister Andrew Holness is to receive a full report on Monday on a probe into what he describes as very disturbing issues involving the health sector. While not giving details but referencing recent media stories, Mr. Holness says the report will be discussed in the next meeting of the Cabinet.
These are issues that as your government, as your Prime Minister, I take them very deeply to heart, and we commit to doing everything within our powers to ensure that every single Jamaican that needs health care can get access to the health care that they need.
Mr. Holness was giving the keynote presentation at the opening ceremony of the 10th Biennial Jamaica Diaspora Conference on Tuesday. Reports have surfaced of an audit of ventilators that have been donated to the government following the death of an infant at the Maypen Hospital in Clarendon last week. In a statement, the Ministry of Health and Wellness has said all ventilators that were donated to the government as part of the country's COVID-19 response are accounted for and are at facilities island-wide. 62 young Jamaicans across all 14 parishes, spanning grades 6 to 13, are being targeted for mentorship through the Jamaica Diaspora Mentorship Academy, JDMA. The soft launch took place on Wednesday during the Diaspora Conference. The initiative is the brainchild of Dr. Sandra Colley-Durand, Sector Lead for Education on the Global Jamaica Diaspora Council. Dr. Colley-Durand says the mentors are being drawn from across the diaspora, and so far, 91 persons have expressed an interest in serving. This process was assisted by the Ministries of Foreign Affairs and Foreign Trade and Education and Youth.
The mentees will be pulled by the Ministry of Education from the most vulnerable cohorts. We will conduct monthly 1-hour sessions, either on Teams or Zoom, with an adult in the room at log-on for guardrails purposes, over the course of 1 academic year.
The motto for the Mentorship Academy is Jamaica Diaspora Empowers Tomorrow, one mentee at a time. Dr. Colley-Durand has issued a call to action for persons to support the initiative by way of sponsorships, scholarships, corporate and private assistance to increase the number of mentors and mentees. Agriculture Minister Floyd Green has announced plans to take the Eat Jamaican campaign global, targeting the diaspora. This year, Eat Jamaica Day, November 25, will also be targeted at Jamaicans living overseas. The Eat Jamaican Global campaign is aimed at promoting the consumption of authentic Jamaican food worldwide. Minister Green launched the initiative during the Diaspora Conference in Montego Bay.
Eat Jamaica Global campaign will see us this year partnering with a number of our consulates and missions, especially in our main diaspora centers, to promote and organize activities that remind all of us that it is better to buy Jamaican and eat Jamaican right around the clock.
November is celebrated each year as Eat Jamaica Month. Meanwhile, a call is being made for the government and private sector to come together and optimize the potential of an empowered and engaged global Jamaican diaspora community. The urging comes from Chair of the Conference and President and Chief Executive Officer of VM Group, Courtney Campbell.
Certainly, this includes providing greater access to information. International investors will naturally be wary of unfamiliar investment environments and must be able to have their questions answered in open and honest ways. There must be easy access to data on investments and business opportunities.
Minister of State with responsibility for diaspora affairs, Alanda Terrelong, agrees, adding that the biennial conference is a testament of the enduring bond that connects us as Jamaicans.
We are therefore not merely participants in a conference. Each and every single one of you represents an architect of change, custodians of our rich heritage, and stewards of our future.
In other diaspora news, the Ministry of Foreign Affairs is advising undocumented Jamaicans who are spouses of U.S. citizens to seek professional legal advice following a protective ruling by U.S. President Joe Biden this week. The executive ruling will allow married non-citizens who have been in the U.S. for at least 10 years and their children to apply for permanent residence without leaving the country. The previous rule would have them leave the country and then apply to return. The new policy will take effect this summer and aims to shield approximately 500,000 immigrants from being deported. Foreign Affairs Minister Senator Kamina Johnson-Smith says this is a positive development for the Jamaican community in the U.S. She is encouraging Jamaicans to seek guidance on their eligibility to ensure positive results.
This decision that has been taken, we know it will positively impact families. We know it will positively impact Jamaican families. I don't have numbers for the persons. This is a very recent development. You may think that it is if you have been in an irregular situation that you shouldn't engage, but we encourage you, get advice, get good legitimate advice, not somebody on the corner who said I'm here, say no say, but get the proper advice. It's worth the investment. And in fact, you can call the consulate or the mission to get a recommendation for an attorney, because we sometimes have people in the community who are willing to give that advice and they're very well informed.
Minister Johnson-Smith was responding to questions at this week's post-cabinet press briefing. And finally, Destination Jamaica is repeat business for 74% of the Americans who visit here annually. This statement comes from Tourism Minister Edmund Bartlett in a television interview with Pix 11 New York Living this week. The minister is currently in New York City participating in the Caribbean Tourism Organization's Caribbean Week celebrations. He says Jamaica's tourism sector has a 42% rate for repeat business.
Every visitor you see in Jamaica today has been there
before.
1 in 2, at least once before.
Okay.
So here's an opportunity for you to join that group of
I'm going to join the
wonderful
group.
people
I'm going to join
who
the
are
group.
having great experiences in the land that God created.
During his trip to the U.S., Minister Bartlett will engage in several high-level discussions and collaborative events to promote the country. These include a multi-city marketing blitz that will see him meeting with travel partners in Chicago and Dallas. And that's it for JIS News today. I'm Theodore Henry. Thanks for watching.
How many more must die because of reckless drivers? How fast is too fast? Make we take time, no man. Obey the rules of the road. Drive with care.
Understanding the process of our constitutional reform can be complex, but we break it down for you with the help of constitutional lawyer Dr. Lloyd Barnett.
Welcome to Get the Facts, the show for the latest updates on current issues. I'm your host, Theodore Henry. Now, there's much discussion in the media about the constitutional reform work underway in the country right now. You may have opinions on the matter, but the subject is not an easy one, nor should it be taken lightly. as the fate of every individual in Jamaica is at stake. Here with me today is attorney at law Dr. Lloyd Barnett. With his long and distinguished career in law and public service, he will help us make clearer what is constitutional reform and its importance, in addition to the process that we are going through right now. Dr. Barnett, welcome to Get the Facts.
Thank you for inviting me. This is such an important subject.
Oh, it is. It is. So let's jump into getting the facts. Let's start with the basics, Dr. Barnett. What is meant by constitutional reform?
It's really changing your basic legal instrument, because the Constitution governs us. Yeah. It governs how the people who govern the country are elected, and what are their powers and the extent of their accountability to the people, so that it is the basic law. All other laws that are made have to conform with the Constitution.
So our legal foundation.
It is the foundation document, actually.
Okay, okay. So can you explain, give us the details on the process that's currently underway to move Jamaica from a constitutional monarchy, starting with what a constitutional monarchy entails?
Okay, a constitutional monarchy is a country that the head of state is a monarch. Usually that implies that it is not based on merit, but upon blood, some hereditary succession to the throne. And you can call the president a king or emperor, but the distinguishing feature is that it is based on a family relationship rather than on the selection of the people.
Right.
So that we have a monarchical form because the British monarchy is what dictates who the Jamaican monarch is.
So we're now moving towards a republic. How are we doing that, and what's the difference?
Well, Jamaica is one of the few countries in Commonwealth countries in which the monarchical form is deeply entrenched. In other words, it cannot be removed by conforming with the most difficult amendment procedure. Special majorities in Parliament and a referendum, so that the people have to be consulted and have to be educated, inspired in relation to that move, which we have had the monarchy for all of our colonial life as well as our life as a sovereign nation.
So the Constitution itself, this foundational legal document, as you explained to us, it also has tenets that dictate how it can be modified.
Yes, indeed. And as I was hinting, in the case of the Jamaican Constitution, it is exceptional in that the most difficult amendment procedure is applied to the monarchy. So in order to make that change and to become a republic, we have to have a referendum. It can't be done by Parliament alone. You have to have a special majority in Parliament. Time factors have to be built into it. You have to have 3 months between the introduction of the measure in Parliament and its debate, and then another 3 months before, and then another period before it is put to the people in the referendum. So it allows for a compulsory period of consultation.
Okay, okay. Those critical steps are very interesting. Where are we in that process?
Well, we haven't tabled the bill yet, so that, there is a compulsory consultation process. What we have been having is a consultation process before the formulation of the new constitution, so to speak.
Okay. So if I'm understanding correctly, we're doing a pre-consultation.
Yes, a pre-legislative process consultation, but it doesn't end there. It continues afterwards, and there has to be debates in Parliament, and people will be entitled, the Jamaican people will be entitled to make submissions and make representations to any parliamentary committee that's established.
Doc, I'm not sure if you keep up, like you listen to radio and TV. And
I listen to some, and unfortunately, not all persons really either understand the process or the implications.
Yes.
Because constitutional reform is almost impossible without consensus. And in the Jamaican case, where the amendment procedures are so complex and difficult, it is even more important to have consensus.
Right.
Because we have had lots of experience in the world, in the Commonwealth, and in the Caribbean, in which attempts at constitutional reform have failed because there was no consensus. And consensus doesn't really mean only the existence of opposition to a measure, but the non-support. Because there have been cases in which a party, a national party, does not support, and the people see this as a negative and vote negatively.
I see. I see. So you're hearing a lot of opinions. We're still in the pre-consultation phase. You're hearing the opinions. Just before we go to our break, how do you think government, leaders of civil society, can help people to understand the import of this process beyond just opinions?
Well, I believe that dialogue is critical, and dialogue in this case has to be conducted in a friendly way, in a patriotic way, or looking forward to not winning a battle, but succeeding as a nation in which we are fellow citizens cooperating to achieve the best objectives, the best aims, the best results, so that it will only succeed if we seek to eliminate differences and to build consensus.
Let us resolve our family disputes peacefully. A family is a circle of love, support, and strength. Violence has no place.
People who are overweight or obese are at a greater risk for many serious diseases and debilitating health conditions. Watch this next feature as we learn how to lose weight and tone the body the healthy way.
You want this lean, muscular physique and well-toned body, framed for the beach, carnival parade, or just your regular dressed down or formal attire. You want to cut the fat and develop that noticeable defined muscle and shape, but not significant muscle size. There's nothing wrong with any of that, as long as you remember the most important thing is not a summer or designer body, but rather a healthy body. By doing efficient exercises and controlling your weight, you can expect to safely lose between 1 and 2 pounds a week on your journey to a more fit body. But doctors recommend that you should not lose more than 1 to 2 pounds per week. For many people, even this rate may be too aggressive in terms of dietary and exercise modifications.
That body is not just going to come overnight. It's not going to come within 2 weeks or a month, depending. It all depends on the type of activity you do, how you do it.
Within 2 months, if you stick to your exercise program and if it's done properly, you will see and feel results. Before starting any structured exercise program, however, persons should first consult with their doctor.
The reason why we need a medical approval from our doctor is that a lot of us have pre-existing health conditions, and some of us are not as fit as we think. For example, in Jamaica, 4 in 10 is hypertensive and they don't know it. And it's the same with diabetes, 4 in 10 and don't know it. And our stats tell us 7 out of 10 Jamaicans die from a chronic disease. We define physical activity by intensity level and the frequency in which we do it. Frequency meaning how often we do it per week. For example, 2 times per week or 5 days per week. The intensity is the energy in which we use to perform the activity, meaning how hard you work out. There's 3 levels of intensity: low, moderate, and vigorous.
If you want to lose weight, the Ministry of Health recommends 60 minutes of moderate to vigorous exercise 5 days per week. To lose and maintain weight, 90 minutes of moderate to vigorous exercise 5 days per week is recommended. There are 2 main categories of exercise, namely aerobic and anaerobic exercise.
What this is saying that the body needs oxygen to break down fat that is stored in the body. All the calories stored in the body as fat need oxygen to break it down, that is in the tissue. So if you want to lose weight, you must do the aerobic activity to burn that fat that we use as energy when we're doing the activity. So the type of activities are like swimming, running, dancing. It is normally done for a long period of time.
When you decide to lose weight, you want results. Results keep you motivated and on track. Cardiovascular exercises are part of the aerobic category, and they help you trim down by burning extra calories. While this helps shed excess fat and strengthens your cardiorespiratory system, it won't build the tone in your muscles that you're after.
Now, when we talk about anaerobic activity, it is activity that does not need oxygen. It's quick, it's fast, it's snap. So most of the time, that activity will help to tone the muscles that we're looking for. But you cannot tone unless, we lose that fat. So you need to do the aerobic activity, then you do the anaerobic activity, which is like the weightlifting, the squats, the push-ups, the jumping, so that now you lose with aerobic and then you tone with anaerobic.
Calories are the name of the game when you're trying to lose weight. Eat fewer calories than you burn and the scale will respond.
Generally, we work with a 2,000 to 2,500 caloric intake per day for the general population. But for each person, their caloric requirements is different because we calculate it based on your specific age, your height, weight, gender, and how physically active you are. Females generally eat less because they carry less muscle mass than men, and so they weigh less. The range is different. For someone who is very slim and short, then maybe 1,800 would be a safe amount to say for that person. But for men, 2,100 would be the lower end of the spectrum.
You may create a caloric deficit, which will cause you to lose weight, but it's best to work with a balanced diet and exercise.
A caloric deficit is when you consume less calories than what you're using for the day. So usually persons try to cut their caloric intake significantly to lose a lot of weight at once, but consuming less than, say, 1,200 calories per day can cause you to have nutritional deficiencies. You can lose muscle and bone, and your body will also go into starvation mode so that you'll stop losing weight altogether.
That's a no-no. The best way to slim down and tone up is to combine balanced diet and exercise. And avoid fad diets such as low-carb, high-protein, or anything that deviates from a balanced diet.
In Jamaica, we have food-based dietary guidelines that are specific to the Jamaican population, but it's based on the 6 food groups in the Caribbean. So we have food from animals, staples, legumes and nuts, fruits, vegetables, and fats and oils.
Losing weight at a rate faster than 1 to 2 pounds per week and regularly skipping meals can leave you feeling extraordinarily hungry so that you binge at the next opportunity, causing weight regain. Plan for 3 balanced meals per day, in addition to 1 or 2 healthy snacks.
You want to include foods from all of your food groups. So say, for example, you're planning for lunch, you want to include either food from animals or a plant-based protein like beans or nuts. You have your staple foods like rice, bread, or pasta, your fruits and vegetables that you can include in a salad, and you can put your fats and oils, for example, like in pear or avocado. Healthy snacks are low in fat, low in salt, and low in sugar. So you can have a fruit or vegetables, for example, carrot sticks, or you can use dried fruits and nuts. As a general guide, 1 serving of food from animals is the palm of your hand. A cup of rice is like your fist, and fats and oils is your thumb. That's 1 serving.
Losing fat and retaining or building muscle creates a strong, toned appearance. Do strength training activities that focus on all the major muscles and the entire body, upper, mid, and lower body. Plank is a good full body workout which helps to build strength in your core, upper, and lower body. Those that focus on the lower body include lunges, using the stairs, leg press, and squat exercises that effectively work most of the major muscle groups of the butt, hips, and thighs. Some examples of exercises to strengthen the mid-body abdominal muscles include the side twist, traditional crunch, bicycle crunch, and exercise ball. You can also try other activities to sculpt your legs, tone your thighs and bottom muscles, waist, and abs.
Ensure that you hydrate properly. It is good to drink water before, during, and after your activity so you don't get dehydrated. Don't wait until you're thirsty, just take your water with you and sip, little sip as you go along. So make sure you work out at an intensity level that suits you, because every one of us are at a different fitness level.
Getting and staying fit is a lifestyle change, so you have to make exercise a part of your daily routine and eat a balanced diet daily for a happier, healthier you.
Jamaicans, practice proper disposal of garbage, and if items can be reused, recycle them. We all have a part to play in protecting our environment from pollution. We are building Jamaica.
Young Jamaicans up to 35, your government will reserve up to 10% of NHT housing solutions over the next 5 years just for you, with 100% financing up to 15 million Jamaican dollars. This is how we are empowering and breaking the cycle of poverty meaningfully. Your government is caring for you.
The proceeding was brought to you by the Office of the Prime Minister.
This is where our journey ends, but only for today. Do join us again tomorrow when we'll bring you another informative program. In the meantime, stay connected via our website, jis.gov.jm. And while you're online, send your feedback to Jamaica Magazine at jis.gov.jm or via X at JIS News. You may also find us on all the major social media platforms and through our mobile app that's Android and iOS compatible. On behalf of the entire production team, I'm Adrian Atkinson. Do take care.
This has been a production of the Jamaica Information Service, the voice of Jamaica.